Have you ever wondered why you say yes when you really wanted to say no? The human mind is governed by powerful psychological triggers that shape every decision we make. Influence is not just a skill for salespeople but a fundamental part of human interaction. Understanding the science of persuasion allows you to navigate the world with greater clarity. Robert Cialdini identified 6 core principles that drive human behavior in social situations. The first principle is reciprocity, which is the internal drive to give back when we receive. When someone does a small favor for you, your brain feels an immediate debt of gratitude. This is why free samples in stores are so effective at boosting actual sales numbers. The second major principle is commitment and consistency in our public and private actions. People have a deep desire to appear consistent with what they have already said or done. If you can get someone to agree to a small request, they are much more likely to agree to a larger one later. Social proof is the third principle, where we look to others to determine correct behavior. We are naturally inclined to follow the crowd, especially when we are feeling uncertain or confused. This explains why testimonials and 5-star reviews are so vital for modern businesses. Liking is the fourth principle, which states that we are easily persuaded by people we find attractive or similar to us. Building rapport and finding common ground creates a bridge of trust that makes persuasion effortless. Authority is the fifth principle, where we defer to experts and those in positions of power. Symbols like lab coats or impressive titles can trigger automatic compliance without much critical thought. Scarcity is the sixth principle, which makes us want things more when they are perceived as rare. The fear of missing out is a primal instinct that forces us to act quickly before an opportunity vanishes. A seventh principle often mentioned is unity, which is the sense of shared identity within a group. When we feel someone is one of us, their influence over our choices increases exponentially. Beyond these principles, cognitive biases also play a massive role in how we perceive value. Anchoring occurs when the first piece of information we hear sets a mental benchmark for everything else. For example, a high initial price makes a subsequent discount seem much more appealing than it actually is. The framing effect shows that how information is presented changes our reaction to it. We are more likely to choose a product labeled 95% fat-free over one labeled 5% fat. Confirmation bias leads us to seek out information that supports our existing beliefs while ignoring the rest. This creates an echo chamber that makes it very difficult to change someone's mind with facts alone. The halo effect is a bias where our overall impression of a person influences how we feel about their specific traits. If we perceive someone as physically attractive, we often mistakenly assume they are also intelligent and kind. Mirroring is a powerful physical technique where you subtly mimic the body language of your conversation partner. This nonverbal communication builds an unconscious sense of safety and mutual understanding. Using a person's name during a conversation is another simple yet effective way to grab their positive attention. The sound of our own name is one of the most pleasing sounds in any language. Storytelling is perhaps the oldest and most effective tool for long-term influence. Facts tell, but stories sell because they engage our emotions and bypass our logical defenses. A well-told narrative can transport a listener into a different perspective and change their worldview. Paradoxically, giving people a choice can actually make them more likely to follow your suggestion. When we feel we have autonomy, we are less likely to resist the underlying message. The contrast principle works by showing two very different options to make one seem superior. Real estate agents often show a rundown house first to make the second house look like a dream home. Loss aversion is the psychological reality that the pain of losing is twice as powerful as the joy of gaining. Highlighting what someone stands to lose is often more persuasive than highlighting what they might win. Ethical persuasion is about creating win-win situations rather than manipulating others for personal gain. True influence is built on a foundation of honesty and providing genuine value to others. Mastering these techniques requires practice and a deep awareness of your own mental processes. You can start by observing these triggers in your daily life, from advertisements to casual conversations. By understanding the psychology of persuasion, you gain the keys to unlock human cooperation. Use this knowledge wisely to build better relationships and achieve your most ambitious goals.